I'm Carl Anthony with AutoSense TV, and we're here at AutoSens Brussels 2019 from the AutoWorld Museum, speaking today with Graeme Voller. He is a Senior Product Manager for ISP for ARM. And Graeme, so good to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
So Graeme, tell us a little bit about ARM. Just give us an overview of the company.
So ARM is primarily a processor design company. We don't actually manufacture anything, but we design CPUs primarily. That's what we're known for. We've almost all of the mobile products and server class processors, home PCs, everywhere that there's processing, there's likely to be ARM IP. We're probably one of the largest companies that a lot of people have never heard of outside of the industry. My particular group is in image signal processing, which is taking the camera sensor data, processing that and providing it to either a display for humans to view or for computer vision engines. And that hence why we're here at AutoSense.
So let's talk about more specifically why you're here at AutoSense and what you're showing at your display.
Okay, so we come to AutoSense because we are moving, as a company, we're moving into developing automotive-specific products. People have been using ARM products in the automotive market since the mid-90s, but they were never specifically designed from the outset to be used in automotive applications. And as we move more into automated driving systems and autonomous vehicles in the future, we have to consider functional safety, capability, the massive amounts of data that are being processed on vehicles, and so we need to build the processors or design the processors that our end customers can use to support their development of those systems today and in the future. And so we see AutoSense as an opportunity to meet people all the way from the sensing end of things, so some of our sensor vendors that are providing sensors into the vehicles that are going to be consuming output from our ISP on the back end of that sensor, and then also the system developers, so the tier ones, the vehicle OEMs that are trying to do something with that data to enable their vehicles' capabilities. We need to make sure that our product development roadmaps suit the end needs of those customers and their future programs as well in the automotive space. Hence why AutoSense is a great place to come, because you have everybody from the sensor vendors all the way through to the vehicle OEMs and everybody in the ecosystem around it. People from the regulatory side, from transportation systems development. It's really a large group of people who we're very interested in speaking to, primarily as information gathering for our future product development. Our direct customers, the people that buy licenses to our IP, are silicon vendors. And they are very, very good at building silicon. And they're not necessarily the people that are here, because we want to talk to people that are going to use those chips in the future to make sure that we provide our direct customers, the silicon vendors, with the designs that they make that sell on into the tier one system developers that are used in the vehicles that are suitable for the systems that are coming forward.
So Graeme, you mentioned your product development at ARM. Why is product development so important? Walk us through what you do at ARM for product development and why that seems to be such a core piece of your business.
So what we're doing with myself, the product managers within ARM, what we do is we gather requirements from the marketplace, from direct customers and from end users of the products to develop specifications for the next generation of products. We can't be in a position to wait until those people come to us and say, okay, I need this capability, because at that point they're into their development and they have to use products that already exist. And most of the development to date, when you talk to the autonomous vehicle systems people especially, they're using server class hardware in the vehicles right now because there's massive amounts of data that they're processing. And that's the right solution today. But as those migrate into needing a smaller ECU that costs $150 that they're going to put in every vehicle, there needs to be a set of products that go into that from a silicon standpoint that support the capabilities that they need, but at a price, availability, reliability, safety that's automotive grade. So we really treat this as a requirements capture activity. We take that back to the design teams and we look at the existing designs that we have and where we need to enhance them, where we need to improve or actually even invent new capabilities. And so ARM is a product IP company, and we need to be ahead of the curve, and our next generation products are the vehicle system's next generation products. So we need to be one step ahead of that development curve. So people are using our IP today in the 2023, 24, 25 model year vehicles. So I'm here talking to people to ensure that that is what they need in the future, but then also the next 4 to 5 years beyond that. And so that's a really important activity for us, because we invest a lot of time, a lot of intellectual capital, and a lot of money developing products, and they need to be suitable for the market in the future.
So Graeme, this leads very well into my next question, and you may have answered it in so many words, but with regard to the trends in the market, where do you see everything going in the next 5 years or 10 years, and where do you see ARM going with the market?
First of all, it's not all about autonomous vehicles. There's a time frame before that happens where we still need to support the marketplace as it is currently. So the ADAS systems that are in the vehicles, and also the what we consider digital cockpit and the infotainment systems, a much more rich user experience with regard to information that's displayed to the driver, so visually. And on the back end of that, there's the processing capability. The data rates and data amounts that are being processed in vehicles today is continually going up. And ARM's traditional market has been low power, high capability computing. We don't see that changing. But in the automotive space, it needs to work for the sorts of volumes that we're talking about. In the mobile phone market, many tens of millions are produced, and there's a completely different business model for that than there is for a tier 1 system developer who's developing something that goes in 50,000 of one type of vehicle 4 or 5 times over a period of 10 or 15 years. And it's that long tail that's the interesting part for us, in that we're a royalties company, so we make royalties from products that are built with our chips in them. But on the front end of that, there's a 4 to 5 year development cycle for a system to go from a concept to production, and we need to support that. And that's where ARM's automotive teams are focused on that type of business model, where it's not a speed to market, it's a capability to market, and being able to support that through the development process. And you have a tiered approach to the silicon vendors that are building the chips with our products in them, and then the system developers that are using those chips, the software development perception engine guys that are writing software to go on those chips, the physical systems themselves that get put into the vehicles, and then the vehicle guys that are tuning them for those vehicles. And we need to provide support all the way through that. So that's a different business model than ARM has had in our client market, which is we design it and we send it off to the silicon partners, and off they go and build it. So we're building a support ecosystem around our automotive products. And you'll start to see more and more products from ARM with an AE designation on the end of the product name, and that means automotive enhanced. And that's either a core design of one of our existing products that has features and functionality added to it to make it suitable for functional safety systems in vehicles. It's typically around functional safety. We have a support team that's focused on providing support for that, to help integrate that into the system developers' systems, to make sure that the system level functional safety concept is met. That's the functional safety side of it, but on the performance side of it, we need to be working with the sensor vendors and the system developers to say, hey, we're going to have 12 cameras, they're going to be 8 megapixel cameras, they're running 120 frames a second, we've got massive amounts of camera data being processed. So there's the concept of edge compute with neural network processors at the edge, extracting useful information from cameras and sending useful information to the vehicle fusion engine that's taking LiDAR, camera, radar data, putting it together for perception. So that's another change in the marketplace, whereas currently cameras are, I wouldn't say dumb, but they're generally just cameras at the edge, and it's all being fed to a centralized processing. We're seeing a migration to distributed processing on the vehicle just because of the amounts of data that are being processed. And that's something that is very close to what ARM does, and that's really where we are really good at that traditionally, and we need to make sure that we can do that for the automotive market in the same way that we have done for all our other products.
Graeme, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for the background on ARM and giving us a very comprehensive overview of what the company does. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts to add?
I think what I'd like to say is that this event, we've been coming to it for several years now. We've done both the North American one in Detroit, and we've done the one here. And this is a really good opportunity to meet with people that it would be, I wouldn't say impossible, but very difficult to speak to those people collectively. We do a lot of traveling to go around to talk to these people, and to be honest, it would be difficult for someone from a company like ARM to go knock on the door of some of these companies and get to have the type of discussion that we can have here. And when you can have someone from the sensor vendors, from the tier 1, from the vehicle system, from the software guys, all together at this event and discussing things, and we can go and talk to them and bring them in, and then you have all these seminars that you can hear, and then you can discuss, well, yeah, we just heard that, this is what you're doing, and how does that fit with you? That really helps us fit into that whole tiered approach to developing vehicle systems. So it's hugely useful for ARM to do this, and so we've been coming for a number of years, and we're starting to exhibit at these as we have more and more of our automotive focused products. So I would expect to see us as a regular feature at these events.
Well, Graeme, from all of us here at AutoSense TV, we do hope that you are a regular feature here, and we enjoyed talking with you in Detroit and getting to meet you. So we wish you the best of luck going forward and safe travels heading back home.
Great. Thanks very much, Carl.
Speaking today again with Graeme Voller from ARM. For more AutoSense TV, for more AutoSense Brussels, like, subscribe, and share.